welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about artist problems. But before I get started with that, I'm going to tell you about this drawing that you see in the background. So I wanted to practice drawing backgrounds with Prismacolor pencils because I usually only draw hair or animals when I'm working with colored pencils because I'm really used to using acrylic or watercolor paint or something like that. So I wanted to try something different. It took a lot of getting used to with the blending and stuff, but I think it turned out pretty well. So I'm not going to sit here and talk to y'all about blending color pencils for like 14 minutes because that would be pretty boring. And I know I wouldn't want to listen to that. So today's topic is artist problems, and I got this idea yesterday when something happened. It was this Prismacolor pencil working on this drawing, and I sharpened it down, and it was getting really small, like really small. It wasn't as small as other ones I've gotten because I have one the size of a pea. I'm not even kidding. It is the size of like a pea or like a seed, like a pumpkin seed or something. But it can't be sharpened down anymore, obviously, but I keep it because it's cute, because it's small. So I just said, haha, artist problems. And so that gave me the idea. I wrote it down in my notes and whatever. So I looked up the topic on YouTube for recording this, and it seems like a lot of artists talk about their artist problems. So I figured, why not talk about some of mine? Maybe you can relate. Or maybe not. Maybe I just have a lot of weird artist problems. But I have a feeling some of you out there can relate to this. So the first one is kind of what I already said, but it's when your colored pencils are too small and can't be sharpened anymore. Because sometimes I sharpen my colored pencils down so small that they can't even be used anymore. And I go to try to buy like a new pack or whatever, or just a new one, then it'll say, out of stock. Out of stock, you can't get it. And it's like, why? I love working with colored pencils, even though I mainly work with paint, but I like trying them every now and then, so it's a problem, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to that because they get so small. It's crazy. But the next problem is when your markers run out of ink and you don't have a refill. I don't know if any other markers besides Copic markers have this problem because, well, I think, do Prismacolors have a refill? I don't know. I don't think they do. They might. I'm not sure. I've never used Prismacolor markers. I've only ever used Copic. But I only have like 5 Copic refills. So when one of my markers runs out of ink, I either have to buy a new one or just buy a refill. But sometimes it'll be out of stock, just like the Prismacolor ones, or it will take forever to ship, which I guess this is another problem. We can say this is the third problem. It's when you order an art supply and it's either out of stock or it takes forever to get to you. So, a little bit of a story time. I ordered a Copic marker. I'm pretty sure it was the colorless blender. And it said 2 to 3 days. It was Amazon Prime shipping. And I was like, woo, 2 to 3 days on a Copic marker. That hardly ever happens. So I order it, obviously, and 2 to 3 days go by, and I'm like, okay, well, it might take a week or so. It says it's shipped, so it'll be fine. So a month goes by. I ordered this in December, and I got it in February. So that tells you how long it took for it to come in. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. But it's here now, and it's been here for a couple of years, and I still love it. So that happened, and I'm sure other people can relate. So the next problem is drawing hands. Do I really have to say anything else? It's so difficult. I used to hide them behind like their back or like a person's back or something, or just have it out of the picture. Just draw the head and like the upper body. Like, who needs hands? I don't know how to draw them. Like, I can draw them pretty decent. Decenter than I used to be able to. It's better than I used to draw them because when I look back at old drawings, it's pretty bad. I'm pretty sure all of us can relate to that. When you look back at your old drawings, it's bad. But sometimes it's just cute. So that's definitely a problem. I don't think I have to say anything else about that. I've seen so many memes about drawing hands. It's crazy. The next one is when you accidentally leave your paint open overnight. So there's been so many times that I will just finish a drawing and accidentally leave my paint open or the paint sitting out somewhere. Like I'll take the top off and just won't put it back on. Next day I'll come back to finish that drawing and the paint will be like dried up and just it's not fun, especially when it's on a palette. Like you don't leave like your paint open. I think when I wrote this down in my notes, I was referring to like an acrylic paint where you like take the top off and it dries out, which has happened, or it gets like clogged up with dried paint and it's just gross and you have to like take it out. It's gross. So, but I will mix up paint. I will spend so much time mixing up paint to get the right color, and I won't be able to finish the drawing in the same day because drawings can take so long. I'm sure a lot of you know that. This drawing that I'm working on right now took like 3 days. It's crazy. So I will leave it out this nice mixed up color, and I always forget that you can like wrap it in plastic wrap or something like that, and or put it in a Ziploc bag or something, and it'll stay there because I really need to start doing that, or else I'm just going to lose all the mixed up paint colors, which happens a lot, and then I just have to go back and mix it all up again. One time I was painting this nice, like, sky and everything, and I mixed up the perfect color pink. Next day I come back to it, the pink is dry and, like, stuck to the palette. You know how it gets. It's gross. So then I have to mix up the color again. It's not the right color. Add more white, add more red. Not the right color. And it's like, why does this always happen to me? A lot of these artist problems, it just happens, and I'm like, why does this always happen? It's crazy. So my next problem is, I don't know if anyone else has this problem. I'm sure someone else out there has to have this problem. It's sketchbooks. I have a problem with just leaving them at random places in my house. Just leaving them there. And I just won't finish it because it'll just be left there for months. So I used to not date my sketchbooks, but I do now. So I had one from like May that I left on my bookshelf in my room. And I went in there and like yesterday, I think, I went in there, just was looking at the bookshelf, and it was there, and I'm looking at it, and half of it is empty. And I'd already started a new sketchbook for July, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this half-empty sketchbook? Why do I just leave them random places and never find them? Like, sometimes I'll just be like, oh, this sketchbook's finished, and I'll just sit it in a basket on this shelf that I leave them on, and I'll come back to it, look through it. Half of it is empty. I know I go back and use it, but what? I just forget about sketchbooks. I'll just leave them somewhere and just forget about it. Never finish it. I used to finish sketchbooks all the time, but now that I use a lot of paper that's not in sketchbooks, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I mean, it matters, but I just don't really care about finishing sketchbooks anymore. I just open one and leave it for like 3 months. Then come back to it like, I didn't finish this? I've already started 3 since then. I didn't finish it? It's crazy. And the next one is a problem that I think a lot of people have, or maybe it's just me. I say this about everyone, about every problem that I've said so far, but it's with ink pens or gel pens. I sometimes will just leave them without the top on, or the top, I always put it on the end, so I'll take top on, put it on the end. And then I'll come back, and it'll be dried out, and it's so sad, because especially with white gel pens, I don't know why I do this with white gel pens, but I will just leave them in a box. Well, it's not really a box, it's like a container that I just set up here, and sometimes the top will come off, or maybe I leave it off and just yeet it in there, and it'll be dried out and I can't use it. It's always white gel pens though. It's happened with my Micron pens before. but not as often as it has happened with gel pens. I go through so many white gel pens. And I just got some more, so let's hope that doesn't happen with these. These I like better than the other ones. These are the ones I always use. Let me see. I'm looking at it right now. It's the Pentel ones. I like these. The other ones I used for were the Jelly Rolls, but I think I like these better. Both are really good, but I don't know. They just always dry out. Like, I have a problem with not finishing sketchbooks and not finishing pens. Actually, that's probably a lie. I have finished so many pens, but they probably just dry out. Sketchbooks are like chapstick. You know how some people, by some people I mean me, or a lot of people I see memes about all the time, they don't finish chapstick, they lose it. And I do that with my sketchbooks. My sketchbooks are big sketchbooks. They're not like small, tiny sketches you can fit in your pocket. Of course, lots of my pants don't have pockets, so can't relate. So I lose it like chapstick, and I don't know why. I have a sketchbook problem. I keep going back to random topics on this, but I just feel like this video is just me talking about why I have artist problems and why these artist problems are not fun problems to have. But it's fine. A lot of artists have these problems. So it's definitely a problem. Oh, another one. This isn't a problem. I think I only have this problem. It's only happened to me once. It was just a little story time for the end of the video, since it's a little small story time. But I have two little pencil sharpeners. One of them's Prismacolor, one of them's just a UV one. I think it's just regular UV school one. I use that one all the time. Probably seen me use it in this video. But the Prismacolor one I use for my watercolor Prismacolor pencils. And one time, the lead broke in it. I don't know how. Well, it's not lead. It's like, I don't know what it is. I've never looked into it. But one time, it got stuck. It broke off and it got stuck in the thing, and I couldn't get out. It got stuck in the sharpener, and I just couldn't get it out. No matter how hard I tried to get it out, shake it, and it wouldn't work. So I decided this would be a great idea. I will put it under some water, like under a sink with some water, and then it'll just melt and dissolve, and it'll be fine. So one thing I forgot to do, I forgot that, what about I separate the actual sharpener part from the container with pencil shavings in it? So I get done with it, and I look in the thing, and all the pencil shavings are just stuck together. They're melting, and it was gross. Never do that. Learn from my artist mistakes and artist problems, and don't do that. So I think this is a good time to end the video. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like my artist problems, I guess. And here's the finished piece. Goodbye.